Hey everyone, hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. I wanted to give you guys a quick update about what's going on with cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins just in general, because of what happened with the Fed pause coming up, let's say that, right? We were expecting 4 rate cuts next year. Now it's going to be down to 2, kind of more of a kind of confirmation of that. And so we got that hawkish cut that everybody was talking about this past Wednesday. And so because of that, we saw Bitcoin dip back down, from like $107,000, $108,000, dipped all the way back down to, it looks like, around like $92,000. Pretty big crash right there. However, I do want to mention a couple things about like what I feel about the market right now. Some of you guys have been asking me, is the bull market over? At this point in time, I do not believe the bull market is over. I do believe we may go sideways for a little bit here. We might have to consolidate for a few more weeks before we have our next big push. But as far as the technicals, and I'll put out a technical analysis video later on today for you guys, the weekly charts remain bullish. At this point, the stochastic and the RSI are showing a little bit of weakness here, and I think it's okay if we cool off at these levels again. Just about a month and a half ago, we were at about, $69,000, and now we're about still above, like 97? I think we're still doing okay. However, when it comes to what the Fed has done, I think Bitcoin is going to be able to weather this storm a lot better than a lot of altcoins out there. So you may see Bitcoin continue to consolidate for maybe a few weeks, maybe even a month or two, right? However, while Bitcoin is going sideways, you may actually see altcoins go down more and more and more. And you may see another batch of Bitcoin dominance basically climbing. If you guys know Benjamin Cohen, he talks about Bitcoin dominance all the time. I would encourage you guys to go check out his channel and see if he has any latest content about that. Now, I know this is not what we wanted to hear. We wanted to hear that, hey, the rates are going to keep on coming down, because that would have pushed the market back up. If you guys recall, we had a good CPI report a couple weeks ago, and Bitcoin popped like $4,000 off of that news. That's what could have happened if we had a dovish rate cut. But because the Fed is concerned with inflation, because we've had a slight uptick, and on top of that, they are concerned about what Trump may do when he comes back into office. Trump wants to do some tariffs, cutting taxes, no taxes on tips, things like that. And the Fed believes those are going to be very inflationary things. So if they believe inflation is coming, and again, they say they're not worried about it because they don't know what Trump's going to do. I kind of call bullshit on that. I think they're just very concerned about it. And so they're going to preemptively cool off on the rate cuts here for a minute and let Trump get into office and see what he does. And then if inflation continues to go down during the Trump administration, because right now it's been very sticky over the past couple of years, as you guys know, you may in fact see more cuts. The issue with all this is now that he is pausing cuts, you may see a little bit more of a cooling off in the labor market, because the labor market was already cooling off slowly, kind of more in control. But imagine if you're a business and now you're saying, okay, well, I was expecting those rate cuts to continue and I can keep on some more staff because of that, because stronger labor market, or weak labor market, excuse me. But now that we have no rate cuts, I may actually have to lay off some people. And again, that just cools things off a little bit faster. And I guess that's what Jerome Powell wants. I'm not really a fan of cooling off the labor market too much here. I've been seeing a lot more layoffs than I feel comfortable with in my personal social circle. And that's something I was not expecting to hear over the past month, which is interesting. So my big concern is not that interest rates are going to tear down this bull market, or we're going all the way back down to like $50,000, $20,000 over the next year. My fear is that Jerome Powell, by starting to pause rates like the way he is right now, I think he doesn't understand how fast this economy can go down because of all the money that's been propping it up, specifically in the stock market. So the way I would try to phrase this is, he wants the labor market to cool down. It's not cooling down apparently fast enough for him, and inflation's not coming down fast enough for him. So he's decided to pause rates, hoping that it will speed up the process a little bit, or just put that much more pressure on the labor market to get more layoffs, a cooler market, as they would say, but that would get inflation back down to his 2% target. I think in the process, at this point, I would say there's like a 30 to 40% chance he tips us into a recession over the next year. Okay, it's relatively high, but I wouldn't say it's like, oh my God, it's definitely going to happen. However, that concern is what's driving a lot of people to be like, uh-oh, maybe I should take some of my Bitcoin out. Maybe I should just like take some profits here or there, because if this does happen and we start to see a much cooler labor market and maybe earnings go down, those earnings, and then there's like forecast, right? The forecast come down, the stocks and assets are not going to be doing so good. That being said, I'm looking at Bitcoin. We're still looking okay for right now. We might have a pretty volatile time for the next few weeks, but I think that's going to be good for you guys that are day traders here. Those of you guys who like to look at the 4-hour chart, 1-hour chart, 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart, you guys are going to have a blast trading, and I'll be doing some of that with you guys live, I believe. Once my ear clears up, I got I got an ear infection right now, which is why I haven't been streaming. This whole side of my face is poofy. But yeah, so I'm curious to see how all of this will come together. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comments down below. But I'm just going to use this opportunity to dollar cost average, play it safe, not do any longs, as I told you guys there was buy signals there, but because of the Fed, I was not taking any chances. And we see the power of the Fed and how they can change things very, very fast. Let's hope that Bitcoin can stabilize here a little bit, because again, it'll take some time. But when you think about the way the world works with our interest rate cuts, when America cuts its interest rates, or when or cuts the Fed funds rate, right, or pauses, the rest of the market, the rest of the world's markets react to that one thing. So again, and what's more global than Bitcoin? Nothing really. So we'll see what happens. Thanks.